ball gowns, and brains. So I recently got a comment on my TikTok asking to go through my Once Upon a Zombie collection, and I thought if I was filming that for there, I might as well film one for here too, just to get you like a look at the whole collection that I have together. And it's a doll line that people don't really talk about, so I wanted to shed some more light on it because I adore it. So we first saw Once Upon a Zombie, if I'm not mistaken, around 2012 at like the doll show or the toy show, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And then they started cropping up in stores in 2013, just in time for Christmas. I was a Christmas temp at Toys R Us, that ages me, and I got 5 out of the main 6 because my store never got Sleeping Beauty. So I have 5 of them to go through today. But I just want to give a little context around the line. So this was an era when Monster High came out in 2010. So all these other doll companies saw the success, because Monster High was a runaway success, of like unique, interesting, a little bit creepy dolls. And they kind of wanted to get in on that. So a bunch of fakes started popping up, a bunch of other things. Bratz released Bratzillas, Novi Stars came out, Pinky Cooper came out, Once Upon a Zombie came out. There's a bunch of really interesting dolls in the 2010s, which I love. And I try and collect dolls from that era because I feel really nostalgic for them. And all these dolls were just an answer to the success of Monster High. And a lot of people, like with Bratzillas, people used to be like, oh, they're just trying to be Monster High. I loved them. I love anything that's unique and interesting because like the doll industry copies itself all the time. There's a new concept and then something else happens and then it just rolls like that. So I love these very dearly. They were only produced for 1 run. There were prototypes for the second series. The Alice doll will live in my heart forever. I wish we had her. But they were stopped produced after 1 season. So let's start with Belle. This is Belle from Beauty and the Beast. She has a high pony with a little crown. Her hair is like super curled. All the dolls are really elaborate, really beautiful hairstyles. They all came with a stand and a hairbrush, but I wouldn't have used the hairbrush. The stand has a little holder here and it says Once Upon a Zombie at the bottom. This is also the era when all dolls came with stands, because they knew that they were probably collector's items, which I loved. So she has her one sleeve because the other one's been ripped off. They all have like really cool stitching or crack details. None of them have shoes because they're zombies. The inset eyes are really striking and I think really make these dolls really special. They are fully jointed and articulated. The clothes have so many layers, like this has a petticoat and another layer and cutouts that are separate so you can see the layers underneath. Little skull detail, just such a cute little doll line that obviously had a lot of thought and love put into it. Next up we have Rapunzel. I adore this doll. And I just remembered there was also a line of books around these dolls going into each of their stories, which was really cool. And I love when doll or toy companies come up with any media to like accompany a line or sell that line. I think it's really cool. So she has this really thick, beautiful braid. Again, the inset eyes, purple lipstick, beautiful bodice with like little shredded mesh. This layer and then obviously the torn layer underneath. She also has like crack detailing, which is really cool, I think. Kind of indicating that she like fell from her tower and that kind of thing. So I think it's just like really beautiful. Also, they all have like there's like a good amount of fabric. They have a good silhouette. They haven't cheaped out on them. And I think it really shows. Speaking of good quality, Snow White I think is one of the best quality ones of the bunch. She has the most accessories. So she has this little bow in her hair that looks like a rose. Her hair is short, which I love when they actually commit to giving a doll short hair. She has one sleeve again. This one has a trim. She has this molded bandage detail and then a little bracelet. And then she has a skull here. The layers of this are cut separately, like you can see. It just gives it so much more dimension and it's really lovely, thick fabric. And And I think Snow's like a really strong doll in this line. Here's Little Mermaid. So obviously for Mermaid character, her outfit is a little bit more simple. It's this kind of sequin fabric with this layer underneath, a molded bra. She has a little starfish in her hair and a little barrette. Her hair is this beautiful like coral colour. And she has these two lines of stitches that kind of look like tears, which I loved as a teenager. And here is Cinderella, who I opened on the channel because I found her in my childhood wardrobe unopened. And I think it's because I loved this doll's like outfit so much. Like the actual scale of it is beautiful. She has a bodice with like a little gem, this bow, these little poofies, this whole skirt. Her hair is really long and beautiful. She is just so striking. And I really love the face up on these dolls. I think they're really fantastic. I just think it was a shame that they only had one production line. I would have loved to see what other characters they would have come up with. I know they were planning Alice. I think I remember there was a Tinkerbell, maybe. And like it would have been really cool for them to explore that a bit more. Her hairstyle also has like a little braid and crown in it. When I look at them, I'm just like, these had a lot of thought and care and attention put into them. And I would have loved to see more of it. But obviously, they stopped being produced because Wowie, the company that made them, said that they didn't align with brand values anymore. So I don't know if that was that wave of things that ended up doing Monster High in the long run, was people complaining about that like satanic vibe with their children. So maybe they just caved after one line. But I love this doll line. So that was a very, very quick look at Once Upon a Zombie, the 5 I have out of the main 6. Let me know what you think. I love doll lines from this time, and I pretty much collect all of them that existed at this time. So if you have any questions about any others, like Bratzillas, Novi Stars, Pinky Cooper, I'd be more than happy to go through those too. See you next time. Bye. Brave.